If you have things about yourself that you really don't like, and if you had a magic wand, you would change them. Maybe it's that you're an overthinker, or that you're anxious, or that you're depressed. Maybe you don't like that you're undisciplined in your eating, or that you're never getting to the gym. I have some really good news for you. The only reason that you don't like those things, and the only reason that you're struggling with them, is because of a perception you've created, which has literally created your identity. And if you change your perception, everything is going to change. Hang tight, I'm going to give you the practical how, after we've gotten into some where does self-perception come from, and then what can I do to change it. I'm Candice Bester from Grit Grow, and I'm super thrilled to be bringing you our 6th episode of our Grit Community series. In this series, I'm going to be showing you that the problem is not the fact that you're an overthinker, or that you're anxious, or that you're depressed. The problem is that you've been believing it all your life, and because you've been believing it, you're playing that role in your play. We are all characters in our own lives, and we are all playing a script in our own lives. And when you realize that the character that you play and the script the life that you are living is all due to your self-perception, your life is going to change by just watching this one video. So what is your self-perception? How is it that you view yourself? If you were a fly on the wall and you could look down on your life, how do you perceive your life, and how do you perceive yourself living your life? Why is it that we do have negative self-perceptions about ourselves? Well, one of the biggest reasons is we have an ideal. We have a perception in our minds of how we should be, how much money we should have in our bank account, what our face should look like, what our body should look like, how we should be as a mother, how we should be as a father, how successful we should be. And we have this ideal, perfect way that the world should be and how we should be in that world. And then we have our current reality. In other words, how we are in the world, what our current bank account looks like, how we currently are as a mother, and how we currently are as a father, how we are showing up in the world, our current reality. And then our ideal and our current reality might be polar opposites of each other, and because of this we believe that we're a failure and that we're not living our true potential, and that is the problem. There is no such thing as ideal. Where does that even come from? There's no such thing as perfect. So let's get rid of what perfect even looks like, and let's take a look into what is really there. For the next part, I'd encourage you to take out a pen and paper, grab a journal, and just start to list all the things that you don't like about yourself, all the things that you would change about yourself if you could. Every single one of them. From where you are in your career, to your finances, to how you are as a spouse, or a friend, or a daughter, or a mother, to how you're spending your days, how you're feeling every day. Write it all out. That's the first thing you're going to do for me. Okay, now that you've done that, I want you to reread that to yourself. And then take a step back and look at it objectively. And you will see all the things that you're believing about yourself. If you are believing that you are poor and that your life is a struggle, you're right. You are poor and your life is a struggle. But it's only because you've been believing it. What makes you any different to somebody else who is successful and who has things going right and things flowing in their lives? So now that you've unpacked it and you can look at it objectively, and you now know in your life, in your mind, that there's no such thing as ideal, and that this is your life and it shouldn't be compared with anybody else's, I want you to take every single one of those negative things and turn them on their heads. Change I am poor to I am successful. Change I overthink things, or I'm an overthinker, to I contemplate things and I really process things, because that's going to change how you actually do things in your life. Some more things that you can change. I am demotivated, I'm sluggish, I'm tired. Write down, I am motivated. I have so much energy in my body. Even if you don't feel like that is true right now, I'm asking you to just change from where you currently are to where you want to be, and you're going to need to do this in the form of your journaling exercise. Okay, so now that you've written it all out, I'm going to ask you this question. What does it look like to play that character in your script? What does that look like? If you are wanting to be a hugely successful, motivated person with lots of energy who gets into bed at night looking back on their day and going, wow, I cracked that day, then you have to be that. And how can you be that? Well, think about it. What does a successful person do? What does a successful person even look like? Okay, so they walk around with their shoulders back. They speak clearly. They say what just needs to be said. They set goals for themselves and they achieve them. And when they don't, they look at it objectively and go, why didn't I achieve my goals? So once you know what that looks like, then you just need to show up and be that person. And how do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just choose one thing at a time. So maybe it's energy that you're lacking, and you just know that if you had more energy to get out of bed in the morning and do the things that you really loved, your life would start to look a lot better. Well then, start with that. Create the identity of, I have energy, I'm getting out of bed in the morning, I'm going to gym, I'm eating healthy, and I'm drinking copious amounts of water. I am feeling like a whole new human. Just start there. And then you need to be highly, highly aware, super aware, that when you slip back into your old zone or what you're used to, that you just remind yourself that's okay. It's okay, I don't need to get it right immediately. So then you notice the old stuff and you step back into your new character. I can assure you that after doing this, getting out of bed, feeling motivated, shoulders back and living a new identity, 2, 3, 4 days down the line, you're going to start to see that it's literally seeping in. And it's not something that you have to pretend to do anymore. I use this in everything in my life, and obviously I also too slip back. But one of the things that I remember doing, which worked like a charm, was I woke up one morning and my son was having a complete meltdown. He didn't want to go to school. And I thought to myself, right, if I was on the stage now, in other words, I'm an actress in my own play. If I was on the stage right now and I had a whole audience of people watching me, how would I deal with this meltdown? Well, I handled it like a complete champ. I went down to his eye level, I spoke to him, we spoke through it. We played a game with brushing our teeth, who could get done the quickest. And before I knew it, he was right out the door, rearing to go. Because I was creating a new identity. You see, I wasn't being that codependent mom who tried to fix everything. I just closed my eyes, looked at my life and said, who do I need to be in this moment? And then I became that. And we can literally do that with every single thing in our lives. So just to recap, go back and write out what are the things you don't like about yourself. What are those things that you would change about yourself if you could? List them one at a time. And you don't need to rush this. You've got days. Just keep working on it every time you notice something you don't like about yourself. And then on the other side of that, say, well, if that's my current identity, what is the new character? What is my new identity that I'm wanting to form from the old to the new? And then one thing at a time. Hyper conscious, hyper alert to just be that person in your character. And slowly but surely you're going to start to see. I tried to lose weight for forever. I tried to get to the gym for forever. And I kept going back to old ways. I needed to perceive myself as a gym bunny. It needed to become who I was as a person, not something that I did. It needed to infiltrate into my bones. And now looking back, if I don't go to the gym, it's unusual. And it's not because I'm even trying, it's just happening. And so slowly but surely, I changed my identity. Obviously, it's a big work in progress, and it is a destination that I don't think I'm ever gonna reach. However, it's not about the destination. It really is about the journey. And when you look back in a week or a month or 3 months or in a year, you're not going to recognize yourself if you are able to shift your self-perception or your self-identity. And then lastly, just before I go, there is something that I really, really hope that you can hear from me today. Unconditional love is something that is so pure and so beautiful and so valuable. And it is also such a foreign concept to so many of us. We love the things about ourselves that we like, and the things we don't like, we hate about ourselves. Unconditional love means loving every ounce of myself, knowing that the reason I am like that is because at the time, that's what happened in me. In other words, if I'm anxious, well, at some stage, I'm not actually to blame. I came across things that made me anxious, and now that's all I am, and I overthink things, but it's a part of who I am. And so I'm going to love the anxious in me. I'm going to love the anxiety in me. I'm going to show myself love. I'm going to give myself kindness and compassion to that part of me while I'm learning to change it. And that comes to everything of how we look, our bodies, our personalities, how we show up in the world. We need to love the things that we have rejected. That's unconditional love. And stop comparing ourselves to the ideal, because there is no such thing as that. So I really hope that today I've given you something to think about. And just know the fact that you're here, the fact that you're watching this video, the fact that you want to be better is enough. And so I really hope that you congratulate yourself for that, because it's rare and it's unique and it truly, truly is special.